Okay, Daniel Ramsey here. I am going to talk about hiring a virtual sales development rep for the book Scale with Virtual Professionals. Now, this is about 50% of our business. So half of the 5,000 folks that we've helped have wanted some help generating and converting leads, taking somebody who may have an interest or have never heard of your business before and helping them go to a point where they're a warm opportunity, meaning there's a sales meeting and hopefully a deal closed. This was one of my favorite things that we do at MyOutDesk, and it's one of my favorite things to have a virtual professional do because it's so clear cut. And this talk today and this video is going to demonstrate clearly how to set this up for success, because so many people struggle with how to make the system work in order to have this pay off in revenue. And I like in business a 4-to-1 return. So if I'm spending $5,000 to get this, I need to get $20,000 in profit back, meaning profit dollars. So that's how I'd like you to consider this as an outcome. The other thing is that too many people like the idea of creating a virtual kind of SDR team, and they've never tried it themselves. So the number one concern that people have is that how do I do this? And I'm giving you the how, but you can't just hire somebody, put them into a seat and say, okay, now go and sell for me. You've got to develop your process and test the market and know that this is going to work before you go and hire somebody and ask them to be accountable to a metrics that you've made up in your head. That's really a big point, because too many entrepreneurs, they're on their 7-figure business roadmap and they're going through it and they're trying new things. And entrepreneurs are classically trained to just jump first and figure out the how later. What I would like you to reframe around is you've got to be the guinea pig. You've got to figure out the system and the process, and you've got to make sure you have everything in terms of the script, the value proposition, everything figured out. Have success yourself doing that role, or somebody in your office have success doing that thing, and then hand it off. It's like if you're running and you're in one of those and you're in a race and you have a baton. Well, the person that starts out holds the baton and runs with it and then hands it off to somebody else. You wouldn't stand at the beginning of the race and then throw your baton to your guy. And that's quite literally the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to hiring, virtual professionals, is that they're trying to throw their baton rather than start the run themselves before they hand it to the next person. So I'm gonna share with you some things to make it more likely that you're going to have success hiring a virtual professional who is a sales development rep. First of all, scripts. Important, know your elevator pitch, okay? This is really important, and I've got this nice little page here to explain it. I serve who by doing what so they get a result. So an example for MyOutDesk is we serve growing businesses by providing leverage so they can scale their business, so they can focus on what they do best, which is getting clients and growing their business. That's what we do at MyOutDesk. But here's why this is such an important part of helping people understand. What you need to do as the business owner and as the person that's leading the company is articulate your elevator pitch so that everybody gets it. Everybody understands it. And so your SDRs, your sales development reps, your virtual professionals can communicate it exactly the way you would do it. Okay, so the next thing is have a positioning document. Here's an example, right? At MyOutDesk, We provide market force personality profiles. We've helped over 5,000 clients grow their business, and we've been in business for 10 years, okay? We provide to our virtual professionals, we provide loans, vacation, microloans, vacation, medical expenses, or medical coverage. We do 2 conferences a year. In fact, I'm going next week to our summer conference. We have folks in the US and in the Philippines vetting your people. So we're making sure that they're great people well before you ever interview them, okay? So those are just some examples of having a great positioning document. See, there's probably not another virtual professional company that has those stats. Nobody else does. 5,000 clients, 10 years, betting on both sides of the ocean. Like, these are unreal market force personality profiles done for you for free. Those are unreal things. And so, and they're unique to us. So anybody that stacks up against us is going to have a huge challenge being able to position against us. The only way they're going to win is through price, which is exactly where I want somebody competing with us. I want them competing at price, because we can say, look at all the value we add to help your business scale. If you're looking for the cheapest, that's not us. We don't compete on price. We compete on value, because we know how important it is to scale a business. And if you're scaling a business and if you're growing a business, dollars are not your only concern. The end product and the value to your clients and your customers and your service, that is way, way, way more important. So this is a positioning document. Okay, value position or value proposition. Here's the thing. You have to be clear in your conversations with why your clients choose us and what it is, the benefit they see. And let me tell you what it is. For our clients, what we hear time and time and time again is, you know what? I am so busy right now. I need help. And you guys are the easy button for talent and leverage. Like, there is absolutely no way that I could have 5 people ready to interview in 48 hours. But you guys do. You guys have this bench of people who are already vetted, and I know they're going to be good, and I get to interview them and make a choice, okay? So know your value proposition, why your clients select you. Know the good and the bad, right? Why they say no, know that. Why they say yes, know that. And the why the no leads into the objections, right? So I'll give you an example of some of the best objections that we get. Well, what about their internet? We have 2 forms of internet. We ask them to have a 5 megabits connection and a backup format too. Well, what about their English? Well, there's a reason we chose the Philippines. It's the #1 voice outsourced country in the world, which means there are literally millions of people serving businesses just like yours right now in the Philippines. You are in the right place. You are going to get taken care of by the folks in the Philippines, and it's nuts. Well, how do I know that they're, really working on my projects or whatever? We have a tracking software. You can log in and see what their screenshots are, see what websites they go to. Well, what about, how do you vet them? We do dual vetting here and in the Philippines. And we have an FBI grade background check that we do. So know your objections that your clients are going to come. Know the reason why your clients value your service and choose your service. And this is all about, this is all how you give, somebody else the ability to clearly communicate your vision of the future, to clearly communicate why your business is better. Okay. So this is the #1 area that people screw up, because they can clearly articulate, because it's their business, but they fail to document this stuff and put it into a spot that is fully transparent for everybody. Okay, here's an example of a value proposition, right? This is what clients want. They help me understand the process. They point out unlisted features or facts about the product or the service, improve my knowledge in the area, provide a better list of service providers, negotiate better terms, a better price, shorten my search, provide vendor information, expand my search, narrow my search. What you have to do is you have to clearly articulate why somebody's going to choose to work with your company, and then create something just like this. Okay, I wanted to give you guys some examples. I think I have at this point. The next piece, okay, the next piece is clearly defining the process. Okay, now I just pulled this from a really old slide back in 2013. So this is 5 years old. The principles are still perfect. I'm not even perfect. Like, this is the process. Okay, look, leads received. That is the number one thing that you have to track. How many leads are coming into my business every single day, every single week, every single month, whatever it is. You've got to know how many leads. Then you need to know how many leads are converted, meaning how many of those leads go from just being a lead to being an actual opportunity, meaning I got a chance to sell to these folks. All right. The next thing that you've got to do is how many calls did it take? And these are out of order. You want to track leads coming in, calls to those leads, and then how many sales opportunities did we get from those leads and based on those calls. And then the last thing is how many successful new accounts or new customers did we get from this process. These are the things that you want to track. I would throw in a couple extra things. Speed to lead really matters. I can't tell you enough how if a lead comes in at 1 o'clock and you call them at 1:01 within 30 seconds to, I like 5 minutes. That's another metric that can help you kind of determine whether or not you're going to get an opportunity, and if you're going to take a lead and move it to a hand raise opportunity. So that is the other one. So in summary, here are the things, and I want to be clear with the order, so I'm going to write them down for you. So the first thing is leads, and then calls had or done to those leads, and then the speed to lead. How fast when the lead came in, how fast did we get a call launch to them and a conversation had? So conversations. And then the last one, number 4, is how many converted, meaning of your leads, how many converted to a sales opportunity, and then how many did you actually make into clients? Okay, so leads, conversations, the speed to lead, how many converted into opportunities, and then how many became clients. Those are the things that you have to track, and you have to have a system that is clearly defined for everybody to understand. So they know, look, if they just know what their part is at. Here's some failure points, and I want to help. So the first thing we did is we crafted the how to be successful. The next thing we're going to do is the system that will make you successful. And then the last thing that we're going to do, and then we'll be done here, is talk about failure points, how to make this, actually turn in, how to avoid the pitfalls. Again, 5,000 clients, we've done this a bunch. So number 1, there's not enough leads. I like 500 new leads a month. Now, this depends on what industry you're in, what your sales cycle looks like, all of that. This is just a rough estimate. I like to have 3 to 5 salespeople always behind our sales development reps. So a sales development rep's job is to get them from a lead to an opportunity, right? The salesperson's job is to take that opportunity and turn them into a client, okay? The important thing is that the SDR feels like they're on the same team with the salesperson, and the salesperson feels like they're on the same team with the SDR. And having enough leads and then enough salespeople so you can kind of test who's closing versus who's not. We had a client one time who, was upset because, they weren't converting enough leads. And it turns out the buyer's agent or the salesperson wasn't actually calling the leads once they got converted into an opportunity, and they were letting them go for 2 or 3 days and then calling. So it's really important that you have enough people and there's a measurement there. I like to record every call so you can give them coaches or coaching. That's a massively, and here's the other thing, you're not doing daily and weekly meetings. So I like a daily morning meeting, little music, little coffee, everybody's talking about the wins, everybody's talking about how their energy, how they're feeling, and we're getting positivity out early in the morning so that positivity can be conveyed through the phones. A weekly meeting where people are committing to sales goals and also conversation goals. So again, we're tracking how many conversations are had. So, somebody who's having 40 or 50 conversations a day is going to have a different result than somebody who's having 10. So you want to set goals and share them in your daily and weekly meetings. Handoff isn't smooth. Call right away. I touched on this a little bit or a little bit earlier, but when you have a multi-step sales process, which isn't all you've got to make sure that there's some congruency between each stage of the process. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of people not happy with how things happen. No activity level measurement for the salespeople. Again, if a lead is converted into an opportunity, how fast did that salesperson go and handle that opportunity and get in front of them and try to close them? How many calls did they make? How many times did they try? An SDR's job is to take a lead and turn it into an opportunity. A salesperson's job is to take an opportunity and turn it into a sale. And so we need to make sure there's activity level measurements for everybody. My preference is follow up after the sale. Some way to generate reviews. We call these the 3 R's, right? You want reviews, which are online reviews. You want recommendations, meaning they write a letter of recommendation for you. They explain what it was like, and referrals, the 3 R's. These are the 3 major things that businesses fail to nurture within their sales process. And it can happen after the sale. In fact, we get referrals from people all the time who never do business with us. In fact, there's this lady in Texas that I love. She sent us like 3 or 4 clients. I've only had 1 conversation with her, and she hasn't bought from us. She keeps sending us people because I was paying attention to her and I gave her some love. This is like 5 years ago. So it's really important that you're focused after the sale as much as before the sale. Guys, this is the system. So we went over it. I'm just going to review real quick, okay? So make sure you have a clear elevator pitch. You have a positioning paper. You know your value proposition, and you have a clearly articulated objection handlers ready to go. Set up a system so you can start measuring all of the things that matter. Leads, conversations, speed to lead, converted opportunities, and clients, new sales, right? Have that. Make sure none of these failure points exist, like that everybody feels good about the handoffs and that everybody's on the same page. Communicate, communicate, communicate. If you do all of these things, you will have success in setting up a virtual professional as a sales development rep. Thank you.